Well, we could talk about Ted Lasso, but let's talk song. Today we are going to look at Billy Joel's Moving Out, the opening song of the hit album The Stranger that was proclaimed the perfect album by Roy fucking Kent. Today we are going to look at first the chords, after that the melody structure, and finally the lyrics that are rather special in that song. So let's get going.
From he works in a grocery store, saving his pennies for someday. Mama Leone left a note on the door. She said, "Sonny, move out to the country. I'll be working till I can give you a heart attack. You wanna know by now who wants a house out in Hackensack? Is that all you got for your money? And it seems such a waste of time, if that's what it's all about. Mama, if that's moving up, then I'm moving out. I'm moving out. Sergeant O'Leary was walking the beach. Night he becomes a bartender. He works at Mr. Cacciatore's down on Sullivan Street, across from the medical center. And he's trading in his Chevy for a Cadillac. You wanna know by now, and if he can't drive with a broken back, at least he can polish the fenders. And it seems such a waste of time, if that's what it's all about. Mama, if that's moving up, then I'm moving out. I'm moving out. You should never argue with a crazy mama. You wanna know by now, you can pay Uncle Sam with the overtime. Is that all you get for your money? And if that's what you have in mind, ooh, if that's what it's all about, good luck moving up, 'cause I'm moving out. I'm moving out. I'm moving out. I'm moving out.
The song starts with the intro that is a cool combination of a guitar bassy riff together with really cool harmonies. Let's look at this. What we have here is a 6 minor, 2 minor, 5-1 progression, something that we already know as the drop a fifth sequence. If you want to know more about the drop a fifth sequence, I suggest you watch my analysis of Miley Cyrus's Flowers, where we find the exact same chord progression, only in a different key. This progression, also together with this riff, gets repeated throughout the verse. In the verse we have a rather special AABA structure, where all the A sections are this riffy thing and the B section is that one. So what we had here was D minor with A and bass that then goes to G, G major, strange modal interchange in the middle of this B section. It's actually the 2 major chord. What's interesting with the secondary dominant is that it doesn't directly lead to the chord that it was supposed to dominate to, but we have an in-between chord, this 4 chord that then gets followed by the 5 chord, and this is actually what the secondary dominant wanted to go to. And after the verse, we go to the section that starts with this, and it seems such a waste of time. That's what it's all about. Mama, if that's moving up, then I'm moving out. You could easily say that this is the chorus of the song. It gets repeated, it is very prominent, it features the title of the song. However, my interpretation is that it is more like a bridge. For several reasons. Reason number 1, it starts on the 4 chord, something that is very common amongst bridges, not so much in a chorus. That 4 gets then followed by a 5. We go then to a 3 major chord, secondary dominant, that directly dominates towards the 6 minor chord. And then the second half of that bridge is 4, 7 minor 7 flat 5, something that is like the 5 chord just without the root. And then again this 3 minor chord that does lead to a 6 minor chord, but this 6 minor chord is already the beginning of this hook line. And this brings me to the second reason why I think that this very strong section is in fact not a chorus but a bridge. It dominates towards the actual hook of the song, okay? And the actual hook of the song is in fact the intro riff that we know. Let's listen to it again. Mama, if that's moving out, then I'm moving out. So we can clearly hear that this bridge builds up and forms a transition towards the hook line that has in fact more chorus functions, more featuring elements of a chorus than the section before. We have a rather conventional song structure in that we have intro, verse, bridgey thing, hook line, or again intro, verse, bridgey thing, hook line, and then we have a shortened verse number 3 that starts with that tiny B thingy and that goes to the A. This is this, you should never argue with a crazy mama, and you wanna know by now. So here we leave out the first half of verse number 3. Then last hooky thing and very remarkable outro, because we do a modulation in the outro towards D major. Remember that in the whole song we were in D minor, now the song ends on D major. Let's listen to the outro. So we can clearly see that we have got a very conventional 1-4-5-1 progression, but this time in the key of D major, something that is rather new. Again, we keep melodic elements, we of course keep this moving out lyric line, and that gels things together quite nicely. Rather unconventional ending for a song. The second part of this video is going to look at the melody. Really interesting melody ideas that get progressed and that reappear in different sections. Very, very well written. Let's look at the melody lines within the verse. Motif number 1 in the verse is what I would call the stairs. Anthony works in a grocery store, and here we have F, E, and D. Okay, with this very rhythmic pattern. This motif gets followed by motif number 2, the motif I call the dance. D, and then we dance around the D, saving this panties for someday. Back to motif number 1. Mama Leone left a note on the door, back to the dance. She said, Sonny, move out to the country. Then we enter motif number 3 that I call the woodpecker. It goes like this. That's actually music. Yeah, but working too, I can't give you a heart attack. That's the woodpecker, followed by the woodpecker dance. You wanna know by now. Back to a variation of motif number 1. Who needs a house out in Hackensack? And then we have got the dance, but the dance on the floor because it's a bit lower. So let's summarize the verse combinations of the motif. First the stairs, then the dance, then the stairs, then the dance, then the woodpecker dance, then a variation of the stairs and then the dance on the floor. That's how you analyze music. Then we enter the bridge with a very, very remarkable melodic line. It's an arpeggiated version of the chords. So what we have here is, remember that the chords are those. What we have here is the 5, the 3, and the 1 of the B flat chord, landing on the 5 of the C chord, and then 5, 3, 1 of the A major chord, landing on the 3 chord of the D minor. So we see a totally different approach to melody writing in the bridge, creating very nice contrast between the bridge and the verse, very well written. The third very remarkable melody line in the song is of course the hook line. Let's look at what the hook line actually represents. So we have a clear 2-bar phrase that gets repeated one step below, nicely underlining the harmonic progression, and something quite noteworthy, the only melody section that does not start on the downbeat but later, on the 2 and in fact. We are now getting to my favorite bit of the song, which is the lyrics. Let's look at the lyrics for verse number 1. Anthony works in a grocery store, saving his pennies for someday. A bit weird pronunciation of that someday at the end, because it's someday instead of someday, but never mind. Mama Leone left a note on the door. She said, Sonny, move out to the country. It had to be shortened to Sonny to actually fit the metric rhythm. Yeah, but working too hard can give you a heart attack. You want to know by now? Who needs a house out in Hackensack? Is that all you get for your money? This is a very composed verse where every line, every syllable is placed very carefully, establishing a very weird and unconventional rhyming pattern. Anthony works in a grocery store is an A line. Saving his pennies for someday, a B line. This A-B structure then gets repeated, A-B, A-B. Mama Leone left a note on the door. She said, Sonny, move out to the country. Someday, country, very loose rhymes, but it's okay because it's conversational, verse, storytelling type of thing where you sometimes have to make compromises. Then we bring in a completely different and longer line. Yeah, but working too, I can't give you a heart attack. With the woodpecker melody line, of course. And then followed by this, you wanna know by now. This is clearly a C-D combination of lines. Then, who needs a house out in Hackensack? Remember, heart attack, Hackensack? Yes, rhymes. So another C line. And ending with, is that all you get for your money? That is, if you look at it carefully, a reference to the B lines in the first half. So to the someday and country and money lines. Yes, loose rhymes, but still pretty clearly, and this is something that we are going to need in verse number 2, so keep that in mind. Then there is the bridge that says, it seems such a waste of time, if that's what it's all about. Mama, if that's moving up, then I'm moving out. Here we have to find the hidden rhyming pattern, because if you pronounce it, Mama, if that's moving up, then I'm moving out, you can't really see something. However, if you listen to the way that Billy pronounces and joins together the different words, then it seems such a waste of time. If that's what it's all about. Mama, if that's moving up, then I'm nicely rhyming with time, and then this moving out thing as a punchline at the end of the bridge. That, of course, in that regard serves as a chorus also, moving out the title of the song and the ending of that very important bridge/chorus section. Verse number 2, and here we can see the skillful craftsmanship of Billy Joel's lyric writing, is a very, very nice repetition of all the patterns from verse number 1. So we have again an 8-line verse with the exact same rhyming pattern and raising expectations, for example, also with the last line. Sergeant O'Leary is walking the beat. At night he becomes a bartender. Yes, it's bartender, but it's going to get really funny, I promise. He works at Mr. Cacciatori's down on Sullivan Street. You can't really sing that, but you can. Cross from the medical center. I like that very much, although, of course. And here we can see the humorous songwriting of Billy Joel, very self-ironic, that he seems to be aware of the fact that those stresses at the end of those B lines are kind of off, and he kind of takes it to a ridiculous level, right? Bartender, medical center, and he's trading in his Chevy for his Cadillac, referencing this Hackensack thing from verse number 1. You ought to know by now. And if he can't drive with a broken back, at least he can polish the fenders. So he establishes this bartender medical center line and prepares that joke punchline. And if he can't drive with a broken back, at least he can polish the fenders, something that is just Champions League songwriting and lyric-wise something that you can't do any better. Verse number 3, the shortened one, is you should never argue with the crazy man. You wanna know by now? You can pay Uncle Sam with your overtime. Is that all you get for your money? And this third bridge is a little variation lyric-wise, and if that's what you have in mind, if that's what it's all about, good luck moving up, because I'm moving out. So lyric-wise, something that sets the scene for a very, very beautiful album. I wouldn't really call it a concept album, but it's an album that highlights that great storytelling potential that Billy Joel has, and every song is just killer. It's amazing. It's really, really good. You should buy it. You should listen to it several times a day, and you should really learn from great songwriters just such as Billy Joel. I guess this is it. As always, if you've liked this, please make sure to give me the thumbs up, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet, to leave me certain comments, and to just stay tuned and stay on the lookout for new videos. Also suggest songs that you would like me to analyze. I guess we've talked song. You can talk about Ted Lasso now.
And for me works in a grocery store, saving his pennies for someday. Mama Leo